What is going on, YouTube? It is Kurv back here again, 5 years later, ready to upload another guide that I have no business doing, but I have my friend ShaanOSRS and Shaan behind me, so we are going to help you guys have a great route at the start of Leagues 5 Raging Echoes. So, without further ado, I'm not going to chat too much. What I want you guys to notice is that this is going to be a rather concise guide. Parts will be sped up, so feel free to pause the video. Some parts I didn't speed up just for digestion purposes, but please follow along with the aid that's going to be on the side of the screen. And please look in the description below. There are going to be additional resources such as route photos, the Google Doc that you'll be seeing on the side of my page, and a couple of cleanup options after the guide that won't be covered in this guide, but it's still a little bit of a route once we wrap up here. But that's all I got. Please pause here, review this starter guide sheet right on the right side so you know what to look out for, whether that be random events. But let's bang out a little over 100 tasks, get you a bunch of points, and get you into your first region, all in just about an hour. Let's get going. All right, guys, and to start out, we're going to go ahead and open up our settings menu here to do the League tutorial. This is for a task. We're also going to turn on our prayer. As you can see, I actually have mine filtered off, but we need to drain our prayer to 0 to pray at the altar. We're going to talk to Hans here to check our age. He's going to be wandering around Lumbridge Castle in a clockwise motion. And then you're going to pickpocket a man or woman 28 times and open a 28 pouch. It's going to get us 84 coins. We're going to go ahead and use a water bucket on the fountain and run over to the bar to buy a beer. This is going to help us for later on, just in case Barbarian Village gets a little too crowded. So once we get this beer, we're going to go on over to the tutor. Now, as you guys can see, ShaanOSRS is going to be here helping me out for some things that I can't actually emulate on this live game. So he traded me some runes. What you're going to do is drop your mind in air runes and then claim from the mage tutor. That way you have more mind and air runes. Then we're going to go up to the general store here and sell the things notated right here on the right side. Once that's done, we can go ahead and buy a couple things we're going to need. We're going to need 3 buckets, shears, a knife, a chisel, a spade, and a hammer. Also, in Leagues, there's going to be a pestle and mortar in this shop that you can buy for 6 coins. Go ahead and purchase that now as well. I just traded souls for 1. Then we're going to run southeast. We're going to go trade faith. We're going to grab our rake, and we are going to, you guessed it, rake these weeds. We're going to get a little farming XP, and then additionally, we're going to go ahead and get a task. Make sure your unarmed is set to kick, so make sure you take off your Draymond staff if you put it on already, and come kick a spider over here by the ham hideout. Then we're going to go ahead and run north here, and we're going to pick 3 onions right in Farmer Fred's house. Once we pick the 3 onions, we're going to go ahead and eat one of those for a task and run north around the top side of his house. We're going to change our attack style to punch, and we are going to punch a chicken. Additionally, we're going to want to pick up an egg here. If we don't have an egg here because it's too competitive, you're actually going to see north of here in a moment, there's a chicken coop, and we can go find an egg there. Pick up the raw chicken and some bones, bury them for a task, and here I'm just showing you the eggs. We're going to start making our way towards Draynor. There's a hay bale over here that we can search, and once we find a needle in a haystack, we're going to go ahead and get another task complete. This is going to end this first section, and we're going to head over to our Draynor section. So now we're going to start running over to Draynor. We're going to head west, and we're going to start Vampire Slayer by talking to Morgan inside this house over here. Talk to Morgan and start Vampire Slayer. We're also going to want to grab some garlic upstairs. You're going to go up the stairs and open this cupboard in the northwest part of the room. Once you open it, you're going to search it once more, and you should get a garlic inside your inventory. Once you get that, head back downstairs, and don't let that garlic or onion get too close to your eyes, because we're about to cry in the wheat field. Go ahead and move on over here. Take a step inside the wheat field and cry. And if you weren't crying enough, we're going to do some agility. So once you finish that and get your task, go northwest and climb, and let's go ahead and do an agility lap in Draynor. Now, at this point, we're going to go ahead and do 10 laps, and make sure you pick up a Mark of Grace, which is a 30-point task. You'll get your first level 20 here, which is another task, and you can see I just got 318 Marks of Grace in my inventory. Every time I bank, folks, I want to encourage you to please pause the video and go ahead and double check everything I take out and the rules on the right side, just to make sure that you're following along properly. I tried to keep this video as short as possible, so at this point, you're going to take out your coins after you bank everything, and you're going to buy 27 wines. Now, at this point, you could buy 26 and 5 barley, but you might need that one extra wine for something later on. I'd just rather have more food, and it's only going to save us about 10 seconds of running later on. So at this point, you're going to go ahead and take out your strike runes, your Drayman's staff, your beer, and some wine. You're going to run south, and you're going to buy a forestry kit by going to the shop. Now, in this guide and reenactment, I'm not going to put on the forestry kit. I'm sorry. I have my max cape on, so that way I don't mess up the inventory slots, and I still have the ability to teleport around. At this point, you are going to use the Lumbridge teleport on the lodestone. Our prayer should be at 0, and we're going to go ahead and pray at the altar here in Lumbridge. And as you can see over here on the right, we're going to drop the G in graveyard and turn it into the raveyard. We're going to dance. So we're dancing over here, right in front of Count Check, and we're dipping in to talk to my man Death. After you talk to him for another task, we're going to go back upstairs and talk to Count Check. Now, once per account, he will teleport you to Barbarian Village, and this is what he's going to do for us. Make sure you have your 2-factor authenticator enabled on your account. And at this point, when you ask about security, he'll offer to teleport you up to the Barbarian Village, and we're going to let him do so now. All right, once you guys get here, we're going to go ahead and run north. We're going to get this step done first, just in case we get clapped. At least we get some tasks done. So you're going to steal a beer over here if there's one available. If there's not, that's why we bought the one earlier. Go ahead and drink a beer for a task, and then drop the extra one if you need to. Here you're going to want to safe spot a barbarian across the table, so that way you don't die. Also, don't click the one with a bow and arrow. That negates the save spot. Try to kill one with an axe, unlike me, and then head south. We're going to go down into the Stronghold. Go south through some of these doors here. Once we start going through these doors, our goal is to kill a rat and to kill a goblin with a spear specifically. So you can see I just tagged that one there. We're going to go ahead and attack it. And once it dies, we're going to then go all the way through the Stronghold and get 10,000 GP and the boots on floor 4. This is where the wines come in. And as you can see, there's a rat right here. Sit down, Stella. Now, if you have experience in the Stronghold of Security, which I hope you do because you know you aren't sharing passwords in 2024, go ahead and skip to 9 minutes and 10 seconds of this guide. That'll take you down to floor 4 where you're getting your boots. If you are a complete noob, that's what I'm here for. Go ahead and watch this video. The next minute and a half is going to be us running through the Stronghold and the route you should take. Be wary of any other scorpions, any zombies, any spiders, catapulpons, shades, ghosts, anything that will one-bop you. Just be very careful and ready to eat your wines here. There should be plenty of other players here at this point in the guide, so just make sure that they're getting attacked and you're not. Every one of these floors are going to give you some coins. Obviously, you're not going to see them update in my inventory because I already did that on this account. So go ahead and run through the rest of these floors, and then once you get to the end, get your coins. The 4th floor is going to give you a pair of boots. Once you equip those fancy or fighter boots, you'll get a 30-point task, and it's a diary task for later. If you die, it's not the end of the world. You can claim your lost items from Death in the Lumbridge graveyard, minigame teleport to Soul Wars. You can move on and come back later, or you can just try to come down here and go ahead and do it again. This is the final floor, so we're going to go ahead and run down here. This is the most dangerous room inside the Stronghold of Security. Make sure someone else is getting attacked before you go in, because it's better if they die than you. Welcome back to all the Stronghold skippers. At this point, we are at the final chest. You can go ahead and grab your fancy or fighter boots and put them on for a task. Now, because I'm not actually in leagues in this video, I'm going to go ahead and put my graceful boots back on because I'm running all over the world, and I don't want to be a filthy walker. Climb up the rope to the east here and go trade Pesca. Now, on the guide, it does say buy a steel med helm. I want you to buy a steel full helmet here. This is future Kurv talking. There's a chance that the med helm does not work for one of the tasks that we're going to do in a little bit. So please, go ahead and get a full steel helm there. There's a goblin here with a spear that you're going to be able to kill if you didn't get one down in the Stronghold if it's too competitive earlier on. With that being done, we are actually starting our Varrock portion of the guide. This part has a lot of steps, so try to keep up. Feel free to pause whenever you need to. This is Gertrude's house. We're going to go ahead and grab a kitten here. Stroke that kitty. That should be a 10-point task. If it's not, toss it in the bank. We'll get back to it later on once we can feed it and give it a good home. Right now, we don't have enough fish to do that. So, go ahead and bank. This is what we're going to do. Take out coins, our bronze pickaxe, and our steel full helmet. Not med helm, full helmet. If you see a steel med helm, it's a full helm. We're going to run over to Zaf's shop, and we're going to go ahead and get our fire staff. Buy one. Don't buy a billion by accident. Just buy one. After we buy the staff, we're going to go ahead and go east, and we're going to talk to Benny. We're going to buy a newspaper from Benny. We're not going to read it. We're just trying to support the local help. Once you buy the newspaper, go ahead and drop it. Then I want you to run over and talk to this little witch inside the tent. We're going to start Demon Slayer. We don't finish it in this guide, but that's part of the cleanup later on. After starting Demon Slayer, we're going to go ahead and head south to Thessalalala. And we're going to buy a red cape. Then we're going to run south again, and we're going to go into the weapon shop. We're going to go ahead and buy an iron dagger. Now, you don't see me do this here, but you need to equip it for a task. So please, go ahead and equip the iron dagger. Now, while we're in Varrock, you're going to want to keep an eye out for a tramp and a stray dog. There's a tramp right up there, and I'll show you what it looks like for a task later on. For now, we're working on Vampire Slayers, so we're going to grab a beer from the bartender, and then we're going to talk to Dr. Harlow here. He's going to give you a steak. Now, Souls gave me a stick because I already did the task, so when you see this stick, it's actually the steak, so make sure you bring that later on. This is what it looks like when you speak with a tramp. You're just going to go ahead and refuse to give the money, and they're going to say they hate you, and you're going to go ahead and get a task. So I went back where we started when we were working on Vampire Slayer, just in case your tramp isn't in the same spot. We're going to run south through this alleyway behind this house and pick a cabbage. Then we're going to run east. Eat the cabbage for no reason other than it's in the way. You could drop it if you'd like. Come into Marlowe's house for Daddy's home and use your steel full helmet on the hat stand. You'll drop it, and you'll also get a task. Pick it back up so we have it for later for another task. Go ahead and run east, and we're going to trade Arbory. At this point, we're going to go buy some runes. So we're going to buy 1 Mind Rune pack, 1 Air pack, and 20 Earth runes. At this point, if you find a mugger, go ahead and attack him. Make sure you're always casting on defensive. If you kill that mugger for the task, we're going to go ahead and teleport to Aubrey, mine 1 rune essence at the mine, and then use the teleport to get back out using this portal. Once you come out of that portal, we're going to go ahead and buy a wizard hat from the enclosure over here to the east. But as you can see, my man Souls over here had a dog for me to go ahead and pet. The reason why we're getting this wizard hat is because there's a task later on to wear a full set of wizard robes. So we figured we'd pick this up at this point in the guide, just so you have it for later. Head north and steal from the tea stall. We're actually going to stay here until we have 15 thieving for some tasks later on. So make sure you get 15 thieving here before you leave. Additionally, take 1 cup of tea with you and make sure you keep it in the bank. At this point, we're going to go ahead and kill a guard, and we're really going to pray we can try to get 5 defense at some point. We don't need it now, but this is why we're casting on defensive. Those are for later tasks. Go ahead and bank and get ready for the next step. Once again, don't be afraid to pause here while banking to make sure you have everything that matches the right side of the screen. Make sure you have everything, your GP, your tinderbox, your small fishing net, elemental staff, your strike runes, earth runes, bronze axe, bronze pickaxe, and 10 wines if you have any left. At this point, we're going to go ahead and go do some agility in a little bit, but we're going to chop some logs and get 5 wood cutting. We're going to come south of Varrock, and we're going to mine tin. Now you can mine 5 tin here for an additional task if you'd like, but you need to make sure you at least bring 1 with you. We're going to grab some copper, and we're going to go ahead and grab 3 red berries. If you need to hop if other players are here, you can go ahead and do so, but make sure you get 3 red berries at this point. You're going to want to go ahead and kill a ram over the fence, and you are done with the Varrock portion. Go ahead and Leagues teleport to Karamja and Brimhaven. We are going to go ahead and just light those fires to get a little bit of fire making experience and get those logs out of our inventory. Additionally, I just killed a snake here. That's for a task, and you want to keep an eye out for an imp as well to go ahead and use an earth strike against it. Once you kill it, we're going to go ahead and shatter the ashes, but at this point, we're going to go ahead and do some more agility. So go pay Captain No Beard and jump down into the agility arena. So the way this minigame works is you're going to go ahead and do agility obstacles to race yourself towards these arrows. The arrows, you're going to touch a ticket dispenser, and you're going to get 2 different types of tickets. One is going to be an item ticket, and the other is going to be an experience voucher. So you're going to do this for at least 6 pillars without missing one, and you're going to go ahead and come upstairs and buy a Snapdragon. It's going to cost 10 Brimhaven vouchers. And then you're going to click the Agility XP one and turn that all in. You want to make sure you hit 32 Agility before you leave here. Now there is a minigame multiplier, so you should only have to hit 6 dispensers in order to have enough, and you should have some extra tickets left over. You can see I dropped mine behind, but you don't have to worry about that. Bring them with you and you use them for something else later on. Here you're going to see me earth striking a imp. I went ahead and picked up the Fiendish Ashes and scattered them for a task. And now we're going to go east. At this point, we're running over to the banana plantation. We're going to go ahead and pick 11 bananas and eat one for a task. If for some reason it's too competitive and you can't get your hands on some bananas, you can buy them from the charter ship to the east, as that's a task anyway. You're going to come over here. You're going to talk to Lathis, ask him about something else, ask him if he has a job and there's anything else I can do on the plantation, and he'll say, yeah, fill the thing with bananas. So come over here and fill the crate with bananas. Once you do that, you talk to him again to get paid. And once he pays you, you're going to go ahead and head over to the charter ship. Like I mentioned, if you couldn't get any bananas earlier, buy 11 bananas here, eat one, buy a bucket of sand and a soda ash. Go ahead and pause the video here as you Karamja teleport, pick a pineapple, go into the Brimhaven dungeon, and kill a moss giant. Set your staff to fire strike. It's their elemental weakness. You can unlock your first combat mastery here by killing a giant. So as you can see, I'm going to kill this one. There are options at the first break off, and you can jump across the stepping stones here to go ahead and kill another moss giant. At this point, you're going to want to teleport back to Brimhaven again, just to save yourself time from running all the way back up. You're going to run northeast, and you're going to pay fair on Hegedy, and now you are in Shiloh Village. This is a fun place to bank. We are going to have quite an inventory here, and I'm going to have to get creative again with souls as shops don't restock on the real world here. So once you've paused and followed my inventory here, you're going to go ahead and toss on your Draymond staff, go west, and trade here into the general store. You're going to buy an unlit torch and 11 bronze bars. Once you've purchased those items, go ahead and get out of the general store and start making your way over to the fishing shop on the southeastern part of Shiloh Village. Light your torch, and then drop the torch, because we don't need it anymore, but that should get you a task. Buy a fishing rod and 50 bait here, and then go up the ladder. We're going to run north, and we're going to go to our Slayer Master. We do not need to be 100 combat to get a task from Duradil. Go ahead and get an assignment, and then trade him. We're going to want to buy a spiny helmet and an enchanted gem. So go ahead and do that here, and then check the enchanted gem for a task as well. Go ahead and run south and go down the ladder and use the Shiloh Village River shortcut right here across the stepping stone. Go north and up this ladder and speak to Paramaya, and we're going to go ahead and see what they have for sale and buy a night's rest for 35 GP. You'll get a ticket, go up the ladder, and you should receive another task. Go ahead and home teleport to Lumbridge or use your League's teleport, as we have another section to get done over there. Once you're back in Lumbridge, go ahead and run north. We are going to smith the tin and copper ore into a bronze bar. On your way running up here, please go ahead and fire strike a duck. I want to say it's not a task and I just want you to do it, but it is a task. Once you fire strike the duck and it is dead, go ahead and make your bronze bar. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and start the absolutely excruciating grind of making a bunch of bronze items. Wait until you have 2 bronze bars left and then make a bronze full helm. At this point, you should have enough bars to get to the level you need to make a bronze full helm. So go ahead and do that now. Once you make that bronze full helm, you're going to go ahead and sell all of these bronze items you just created to the general store to the west, just for a little extra inventory space. You are going to need it. At this point, go ahead and put on your steel full helm and your spiny helmet, as you should be 5 defense by now after the Moss Giant and the guard from Varrock. At this point, you can also kill a bunch of goblins still, bury their bones to get 5 prayer, and then restore the prayer in the church. Head over to Bob's, buy a steel axe, and ask him for a quest. He'll tell you to kick rocks. Head south into the Lumbridge swamp. We are going to go ahead and kill a frog, chop 2 trees, light some logs here, and make some arrow shafts. Additionally, we're going to go southeast and we're going to start fishing. We're going to want at least 2 shrimp. We're going to fish up until we have the ability to catch an anchovy, and we're going to catch as many sardines as we possibly can. You can stay and get 25 sardines for a task. At this point, go ahead and start Mythsal and Mystery right here, and make sure you have at least 3 spots in your inventory, as you'll get 3 gems as a reward. Optionally, you could drop the spiny helmet, the fishing bait, or the enchanted gem and get them later. Run northwest, equip your Drayman staff, and enter the shack. And if you didn't have the ability to get an egg earlier on in the guide, you can grab one here if it is available. Like I mentioned, if you need that egg, it's located right here in front of the shrine. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the best part of the guide. Zanaris, where we run back and forth at the same spot over and over again. Bank everything at the bank to the west. Take out your coins, a pot, a bucket of water, and 3 buckets. Run east, and you're going to pick 2 wheat from the wheat field, where you would normally enter the Puro Puro minigame. Go east and fill 3 buckets of milk on this dairy cow, east of the wheat pen. Run west and go up the ladder, and fill the hopper, and pull the lever, and fill the hopper, and pull the lever. Go ahead and climb down, fill your pot with flour, and use your bucket of water on it, and make bread dough. We're going to need this later. Get another pot of flour, and go back to the bank. Bank everything, take out some shears, and run southeast. Use your shears on all of the sheep in the area in order to get 24 balls of wool. There are 3 located down here and 2 located up above. Go ahead and bank again. And we're going to take a couple of more things out, so feel free to pause at this point again. If you're worried about Count Dracula for Vampire Slayer, please bring some food here. You're going to need it. Pause the video and copy the inventory and follow the task to the right. You should have 1 open inventory slot. Don't forget that stick in my inventory is emulating the stake that you should have inside of your bank to complete Vampire Slayer. We're going to use Fairy Ring CKR, and we're going to go ahead and fish some Karamja here for a task. You can now also take your kitten with you, as you have a stackable source of fish. We're going to run back over to the Fairy Ring, and we're going to go to DIS, going to the Wizard's Tower. Now, if you'd like, this is optional. You can go upstairs and see if there is the ability to kill the Lesser Demon. If there are people here in line, you better respect the line or stop watching this guide right now. Go ahead and run north and trade for some barley seeds here. This is why we have another inventory slot. If you need to drop a wine, you can. And like I mentioned, please grab some food if you need it. Run over to Aggie. We're going to use the red berries on her. She's going to give you a red dye. You're going to then use 2 onions on her. She's going to give you a yellow dye. At this point, please make sure you have your money on you, or she will take a random item from you when you insult her. So as you can see here, she just took 20 GP from me after I insulted her. So we want to make sure you have coins. She will always take coins first. While running up to Draynor Manor to start Ernest the Chicken by talking to Veronica, please go ahead and use your red dye on your yellow dye. You will get an orange dye, and then use the orange dye on the cape for a task. Go around the east side of Draynor Manor and find a chair to follow you for a task, just like that, and then go back downstairs so we can fight Count Diddy. You can safe spot him down here if you step into this corner where the skeleton is, and he should step into that corner, as you can see my pet do. From here, you should be able to farcast him right over the skeleton, and you should be able to complete the quest with no problem. If you'd like to complete Ernest the Chicken, go upstairs and do that now. If not, go to Lumbridge, go upstairs at the north stairwell. Don't get scared if Sea Engineer starts to yell at you. Get an anti-dragon shield from Duke Horatio, and then go upstairs and bank again. Please pause here. Go ahead and take out the inventory that you need for Cook's Assistant and doing a little bit of cooking. Once you complete Cook's Assistant by talking to the cook, you're going to cook your bread on the range here. You're going to cook your chicken on the range, then your shrimp. Use your cooked chicken on the range again to burn it for a task, and then use all your sardines on the range as well. If you cook 5 in a row without them burning, you'll get an additional task. Go ahead back up the south stairs, bank, grab a bunch of wool, go down the south stairs again, and you can string on the second floor. Turn all of the wool into balls of wool. Go back upstairs and bank. Go ahead and copy my inventory exactly. You're going to want to wield your elemental staff here, as your inventory will be completely full. So we've got about 20 balls of wool, our strike runes, our gold, a rake, our seeds, an axe, our soda ash, and a bucket of sand. Go ahead, like I mentioned, if you need to pause, go ahead and do so. Just copy my inventory and make sure you have your elemental staff equipped. Run north again, and we're going to go ahead and make molten glass here. We're going to run northwest to Fred the Farmer. Start and complete Sheep Shearer in one dialogue. During this slight run to the best quest ever, I want to just thank you guys for watching this far along in the guide, and I hope you're having a blast. Please go ahead and throw me a subscribe and a like. Share this video with your friends, because we put a lot of hard work into this. Back at it, we're going to finish the quest here. Souls gave me the 60 GP that you will get as a reward, just to keep the GP slightly honest. We're going to go southwest, and we're going to enter the Ham hideout by picklocking the trapdoor. At this point, we're going to go ahead and pickpocket until we get a steel pickaxe. This is optional, but you're going to need it for later on. Go ahead and teleport back to Lumbridge, and if you'd like, you can go ahead and claim your training bow and arrows from the range tutor up north, where we got the runes earlier. Go ahead and run east of the river and make a log canoe. You're going to go ahead and chop it down and take it to the only spot you can go, the Champions Guild. Run northwest and rake here for some farming experience. Then we're going to run southeast and rake again at this patch for more farming experience. And then we're going to trade Vasquin here. Please be mindful of your random events that I mentioned at the beginning of the guide. That way you can make sure you get all of these tasks. Trade Vasquin, buy 3 compost and a seed dibber, and plant your barley seeds in the hot patch that we just cleared. Go ahead and pay Vasquin to protect them for another task. At this point, you should have 15 woodcutting. If you don't, chop some of these trees in the area, and then come chop this oak tree inside the potato field for another task. Run northwest, hop the stile, run northwest again back towards Varrock. If you have the balls to take out a dark wizard and avenge your family, please do that now. And then walk back into Varrock. Guys, we're done. Go ahead and start doing some Varrock laps here and camp here until you've done 50 total laps. Or if you're getting impatient, hop over to your first region, because at this point you have gotten a lot of points and a lot of tasks done. As promised earlier in the guide, I mentioned that there's going to be a cleanup at the end for some inefficient steps that we chose to skip just to keep this route as brief as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on screen. I'm not going to add it in this video, but if you click the link in the description below to go to the Google Doc, you will see the route that will clean up and include Demon Slayer, getting to your first birdhouse runs in Fossil Island, as well as some other steps on the Isle of Souls that will get you a couple extra tasks that we just thought were too time consuming for such a brief video. Once again, guys, I want to thank ShaanOSRS and Shaan for helping me out with this guide. I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. Souls routed most of this. Him and I cleaned it up. Shaan absolutely killed it with the thumbnail and everything else, as well as working on it with Souls and the route. Super excited for leagues, super excited for you guys to use this guide and hopefully dive in head first. Go ahead and send it to your friends. If it works for you, hopefully it works for them. I know you have a couple people you want to get into OSRS. So once again, guys, I have been Kurv. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in 5 years. Bye.